Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity of London on this beautiful spring day. Here we are, the first Sunday of May. So we'd just like to welcome everyone that is at 501 Nelson Street, all of you that are on Zoom this morning, and all of you who may be listening to this service later. So we are just blessed to have you. And so right now, what I request is that everyone that is there at 501 Nelson, that if you please put your phone on mute this morning so that everything can go smoothly. But if you want to let people know where you are first, then that is a great idea. Let them know that you are at Unity of London. And so today's power, or this month's power, is the power of power, which is really the power of the spoken word. But it's not just the spoken word, it's the power of God's word within you. And it's located in the back of your throat at the base of the tongue. And the color for power is purple. So, of course, I always think of our wonderful Pauline, who is away this week, because she loves purple and she likes to wear purple. And I always consider her such a strong, powerful woman but she speaks with love and grace and peace. And so today we affirm, I have the power of God within me. So let's repeat that. I have the power of God within me. So at Unity, we have a vision, and you can repeat this as well. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. So what does that mean, and how can we fulfill that vision? Well, we have a mission, and our mission, and you can repeat this as well, co-creating with spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. And then how do we do that? So what we can do is we can remember that and act upon that we are a loving, inclusive, supportive community, that we are all one, we are connected. And we can also promote our self-expression, which is part of the power of power, speaking from a place of love for ourselves and for others. And of course, we have the 5 principles of unity. God is, there is only one power in the world, God the good omnipotent. And we have a spark of that divinity within us. We are part of God. And with God, we co-create our world. We make that connection with the divine spirit within through prayer and meditation. So we recommend that you do that on a daily basis. But it's not enough just to know that this is what is important for us, but we need to live it. We need to be living our beliefs out into the world. And of course, we want to inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. And a while ago, we had Earth Day, and there were lots of people that were out cleaning up garbage and doing things to make their space and around their city or town or home cleaner and nicer, to really celebrate greatness of the earth. So that can be inspiring to help out. And of course, we also provide fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. So it doesn't make any difference what your background is, you are welcome to come to Unity. So we have some special announcements this morning. So the first one is today is the draw at 11:45 in the fellowship hall Today is the draw for the 2024 condo lottery. And so I'm going to make the assumption that there will still be tickets, last minute tickets for sale. If you have not bought your tickets yet, I know I have mine, and I'm looking forward to the phone call that says I have one today because I'd like to spend a week at that 3-bedroom, 4-bath place in Grand Bend, and I would certainly appreciate that $500 cash. And remember that all of the money, the proceeds from the lottery, goes towards the music program as well as our speaker program. So important to support this fundraiser. So I have been hearing all of these wonderful things about our Wednesday music nights featuring Jim Chapman has been organizing these. And he's talked about them when he has been at Unity of London. So they're every Wednesday night from 8 to 9:30. And there's different musicians every week. And this May 8th, there is the Circle Song with Chucky Zare. Now, you may remember, those of you who have been coming to Unity of London for a while, Chucky has been our guest musician from time to time, and she's got an incredible voice. Also, Paul Angile, who's very well known around London, and Ron Moran. So what you can do is you can send $10 by e-transfer to Jim Chapman at rogers.com, include your name and the concert date so he knows what you paid for, or you could show up with you and your friends and pay cash at the door. So please partake in these wonderful Wednesday music nights. All right, so we also have our Unity of London Fish Group, which stands for Fellowship, Imagination, Sharing, and Happiness. And the next one of those is on May 26th. It was postponed. And so what they're going to be doing is they are going to be making affirmation towels. So what, if you want to sign up for that, please let Amber know that you are going to be attending. And please let her also know what your affirmation is that you want to put on the towel so that she can be prepared for that. So that sounds like a wonderful, wonderful way to spend May 26th after Sunday service. So today, Dawn is our prayer chaplain at 501 Nelson Street. So after the service, she will be in the prayer room just off the fellowship hall, willing and happy to pray with you. And for anyone online that would like prayer, if you can just put a message in the chat, then we can pray later as well.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Oh, God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I my source. God is my power. God gives me everything and every little thing that I need. And I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Oh, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything, everything I need. God gives me everything, every little thing I need. God gives me.
So Unity was founded on prayer over 130 years ago. Silent Unity was founded, and our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, would respond to prayer requests sent to her by letter by praying for and responding by letter. But now, if you call 1-800-NOW-PRAY anytime, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you will be blessed by a kind voice on the other end of that phone saying, "How may we pray with you?" So please take advantage and call 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Now, we also, of course, at the front of the sanctuary have the prayer box. So if you would like to put the name of the person that you would like prayer for, you can just put it on a piece of paper and put it into the prayer box. You do not have to explain anything, as God is all-knowing, but we do request that you print the name plainly, because we hold, the prayer chaplains and the prayer angels hold those names in prayer for 30 days, and then they are sent on to Silent Unity. So please take advantage of the prayer box as well. So this morning we are going to go into prayer. So if you would just like to be comfortable in your seat, let's just wiggle into that seat and just put your shoulders down, close your eyes, and let's just take a breath. Let's just relax and make that conscious connection to that divine spirit within you. And so, as we heard from the song that was Karen Drucker's song, God is our power. God is our source. Love is our power. Joy is our power. Peace is our power. Speaking what needs to be spoken in a peaceful, joyful, loving way is our power. So this morning, we bless everyone attending all spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. And we bless all those watching online, those at home, and those who will watch later. And we call forth that divine power of power within each and every one of us, speaking words, thinking words of love, joy, peace. So as we consider that power of power, we know, may we know, that we have all of the power within us to accomplish everything that is ours to do in this world, to make a difference, to make the change that we would like to see. We have that power. So we lift up anyone who is experiencing any challenges, trusting that the highest and best is unfolding for them. and that the love and peace of the divine spirit is surrounding them right now. So we take this opportunity to hold anyone that you wish in blessings and prayer, and to speak their names quietly into this space now. We also bless our fellow Unity churches, Unity Spiritual Center in Windsor, and our Canadian Unity ministers, who obviously make a huge difference for this movement. And so as we go forth in this beautiful spring day, may we be blessed by the power of nature that is surrounding us now. May we enjoy this beautiful spring day, and may we go joy and peace. Amen. Okay, so this morning we'd like to welcome today's platform assistant, Nancy Youngston, for this reading of the Daily Word and the introduction of our speaker. Good morning, Nancy.
Is it on? No. Oh, there it is. Okay. Joy, it's on. Joy is the theme. Joy is my power, and power is the theme. I feel joyous as I celebrate life. Each new day is a treasure filled with life's gems found in even the most ordinary moments. Joy fills my heart when I pause to notice the wonder that surrounds me. I let my gaze linger as I watch the setting sun or close my eyes as I savor the sweetness of fresh fruit. Beneath the night sky, I breathe deeply and partake of the fresh, clean air. The beauty of the world pales in comparison to the beauty within. I am so deeply and wondrously blessed to know my oneness with God and with all that is. There is no greater joy. I wake and praise each new day and feel newly alive. I go out into the world to share the joy of being a child of God in the abundant universe. I spread light and love to everyone I meet, trusting they will know the joy of God as I do. From Psalm 92, verse 4, for you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands, I sing for joy. Today's speaker, Sylvia Vanderhoek. She is a well-known member of Unity, past president of the board, and probably a number of other positions on the board, and currently one of our spiritual leaders. Sylvia is a good, renowned speaker. She's not just here, but in her work, and she loves to travel. I didn't have an intro, so I'm going by. We know Sylvia for her sense of humor and her energy. She is an energizer bunny, and she is going to give us a wonderful talk today. Let's welcome Sylvia with her talk, The Power of Power. Thank you, Nancy. Good morning. And good guessing, Nancy, but no, the only thing I have been on the board is either the vice president, the president, or the past president. For me, it's the easiest job. I'm not very good at I can take my own notes, but to be a secretary and record a meeting and do all the things that go with that, nope, not for me. Financial, I know how to earn money. I know how to spend money. I'm still learning how to manage money. But yes, I love Unity, and I thank Wilda for doing a little bit of cold notes for me on my talk today. I bet you already know, where is your center of power? Okay, some people were listening to Wilda, your throat. It's at the base of your tongue. But I'm going to start my talk today with a little bit of a story. And when I pause and point to you, I would like you to say the word tongue. Now, I'm not really good at PowerPoint and getting all those things. And I had in my mind a visual of having a slide up there with a picture of the Rolling Stones tongue. So if you can imagine that. So a little bit of participation. So don't stick out your, okay. So there once was a king who wanted to be the best king in the whole wide world. He decided to have a huge feast to show everyone that he was a great king. He put up fancy banners and he had the most beautiful music playing for his guests. And he asked his servant to prepare the best food in the world, the best food in the whole world. Finally, the appointed time came for the feast, and everyone arrived dressed in their finest clothes. The first item served was an appetizer. Everyone ate it and enjoyed it, and they were ready for the next course. So the servant brought out a roast and a side dish and a salad. Then came the drink and a dessert. The king was furious with his servant. He had asked for the best food in the whole world, and the servant had prepared everything out of. The king told his servant that he would give him one more chance. The king would have another feast in 2 weeks, and this time the king wanted his servant to prepare the worst food in the whole world. Finally, the time came for the second feast, and all of the people came back to the king's palace. They were again dressed in their fancy clothes, and they danced to the beautiful music. Once again, they sat down to eat, this time expecting the worst food in the world. When the servant brought out the appetizer, the king couldn't believe it was soup. And then the servant brought out a salad and a entree and a dessert. Even the drink was. The king was beside himself with rage. He demanded that the servant explain himself. I asked you to get the best food in the world, and you served. And I asked you to get the worst food in the world, and you served. How can be both the best food and the worst? The servant bowed deeply before the king, and he softly replied, Master, the best food, because it can say, I love you, I honor you, I will be loyal to you. But it is also the worst food because it can say, I hate you, you are my enemy, I will destroy you. Is the best and the worst of all the food in the world. And it makes us think what we can do with our words. And so knowing about your power of power can bring a lot for us. So May is the month of power, and it's purple. It's represented by the disciple Philip. And I'll read a little something that'll talk about Philip, but it is at the root of our tongue, and the color is purple, and it's our ability to master and have dominion over and control. So when you stop and think, well, I don't really have any control over this. Is that real or is it not? As the song said, God is our source. God is our power. It will give us everything that we need. And as Larry whispered to me, everyone's a winner because we all have a power of power. And let's affirm that, that affirmation that's at the bottom of the slide.
I have the power to create my world. Let's do it using your tongue with some zeal. I have the power to create my world. So in the front of it, I used, I've got the 12 Powers of Man, written by Charles Fillmore. And for those of you that maybe haven't been around Unity or a long time, Charles was the one that discovered the 12 powers of man and related them to the different disciples and determined what part of the body they were in and what color they were. But in the front of the book, he says, man is the power of God in action. So we are the power of God in action. We are the hands and feet and the words of God. When he or when we cooperate with divine principle, we sit on the throne of our authority. And the elemental force is subject to us. So when we're working with spirit and we're following the principles, knowing that we are one, knowing that we all are inherently good and that we have those 12 powers, we sit on the throne of authority where we can actually determine one of our principles. The 5 principles is that we co-create our life. So we can co-create whatever life we want to create. But when you really break it down and you think about working with spirit, spirit tells us what's right for us. Spirit will guide us as to what's the best thing for us. We can all, see a Lamborghini drive by and say, I would love to have one of those. But how serious are you? And if it's really meant for you, it's a call upon your heart. And it's, and certainly in the years and working in business and then also being involved in personal development and unity and trying to fit the two together. Some people are meant to have a Lamborghini. And it's not about the car. It's about who we become to get the car. And so when you have a desire on your heart, and it's not always big stuff like I don't know, Chris, what's a Lamborghini worth? $500,000? Sure. They're worth a lot of money, a lot more than most of us are even willing to spend on a vehicle because it's not a call upon our heart. So understand that the power that you do have. And I'm going to read a couple of excerpts out of the book. Charles writes about all of the powers, but it's a heavy book. And as I read this, you'll understand what I mean. But there's just some good meat and potatoes in here. So the power center in the throat controls all the vibratory energies of the organism. So our power center controls all the vibrations within each and every one of us. We understand as unitics that everything in the world, everything in the universe vibrates. It's all energy vibrating at a different frequency. Our body vibrates at a different frequency than this lectern, but it's all molecules. And so we have the ability to affect our vibratory rate. The higher your vibration, the better you feel, the more uplifted you are, and the more a different level of ideas come to you. So that power center, it is the open door between the formless and the formed worlds of vibration pertaining to the expression of sound. So we're affecting how the organisms come together and create mass and things out of this no thing. Every word that goes forth receives its specific character from the power faculty. So this is a pretty important power. And when Jesus said, the words that I have spoken unto you are spirit and are life, he meant that through the spoken word, he conveyed an inner spiritual quickening quality that would enter the mind of the recipient and awaken the inactive spirit and life. So we can speak words with our tongue, words of inspiration, words of that will inspire people, or we can speak words that will break them down. But we want to speak life into and spirit into ourselves and others. When the voice has united with the life of the soul, it takes on a sweetness and a depth that one feels and remembers. So when you're tuned in, it's just at such a different level that when the voice lacks this union, It's metallic and superficial. Voice culture may give one tone brilliancy, but every great singer has the soul contact. When you hear someone really truly sing a beautiful song, you can tell that they're truly connected to spirit. And if you're really not connected, the words just don't come out so sweet and so is so pleasant to the ear. But higher and deeper still is the voice of one who has made union with spirit and who can say with Jesus, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. When we understand this power of the word, we have the key to the perpetuity of sacred writings. So again, some pretty deep stuff. And there's another line in here. The mind and the body of man have the power of transforming energy from one plane of consciousness to another. So we have the ability to change the energy, just as water can become, you can boil water and then it becomes steam and vapor. That's the transforming of the same energy. But we have, Lorraine was telling me last week, it's not in the TV, it's in the thing, but no, then I went too fast. So we have 12 powers, and the book's on about all 12 powers. So we have our faith, our strength, our wisdom, our love, our power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, elimination, and life. So those are the 12 powers that we talk about each month. One is special, and of course, this month it's the power of power. And they say there's 7 steps. And my other source of resource was this wonderful booklet that we have always used. I don't think they print it anymore, but it's Discover Your God-Given Potential, the 12 Spiritual Abilities to Change Your Life. And we started using these many years ago when Rev Lori, I believe it was in my first, definitely by my second class in being a prayer chaplain. And I think Unity of London was one of the first groups of prayer chaplains that started using our powers when we do prayer with one another. When we pray for one another, we will quicken or call forth individual powers for people. And so these are the steps. And so you see, I do have a picture, so I do know how to put a picture in. And it was kind of interesting because when I was looking for pictures of steps, I spotted this one and it's like, oh, there's a little bit of purple in there. And then I thought, but also they're kind of dirty. But these steps, we don't go through them just like one day we're in control and the next day we're in poise and we move up and it's just all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's mastery and it's beautiful. At work, when in my work, with sales, we have what we call a sales system. And when people join us, we teach them how to explain the program that we provide for people. And it's not easy when you first start. You're trying to think of what's this and what's next and what am I supposed to do and what do I show next? And so we say it's difficult in the beginning, it's messy in the middle, and it's beautiful in the end. And I think as we learn to use our powers and learn more about them and our abilities to use those throughout that time until maybe we do someday hit mastery and stay there forever, it can be messy along the way. So in the book, they talk about open the power channel. Power, the very word has a magical, mystical sound. Truly, power is a gift from God, freely given. Power is the vital energy seated at the hollow of the throat, at the root of the tongue. It is released by speaking positive, powerful words of truth. This is what Jesus meant when he said, the words that I have spoken to you are spirit and life. When you are in tune with God, you can quickly and easily release vital energy for any good purpose, any good purpose. After the resurrection and ascension of Jesus, Philip, the disciple who represents power, became noted for his ability to spread the message of truth through his speech. Philip was a fisherman, and he and the brothers, Andrew and Peter, who represent strength and faith, came from the same hometown, Bethsaida. Power is closely allied with faith and strength. Faith is absolutely necessary for the release of spiritual power. So if I flip, can we go back, Lorraine, to the 12 powers? Sorry. There we go. So you can see the different powers in here, that they work alongside one another. And you certainly would have to have faith if you were going to speak something about co-creating. You'd have to have faith that that would come true for you. Power and strength are also related and may be confused if not properly understood. Strength, represented by spring green, it's in your lower back, is endurance, stability, and stamina. But power is the vital energy that enables one to accomplish, to follow through. So quickening your power and utilizing it allows you to follow through to the very end. Just as electrical energy is generated when you turn on a switch, you are a conductor of spiritual energy or vital power. Opening the inflow of energy through prayer and receptivity to God, you can then release good into the world. So it's during our time in the silence, in prayer, in communion with not only talking, but more listening to what is mine to do? What is my next step in my accomplishment of whatever it is that you're working towards, or just being your best self? Jesus went apart to pray and came back refreshed and revitalized with greater spiritual power. As within, so without. This is the way you develop power. So we're going to go through the steps. So the first step is control. That sound nice, to control? Well, when I looked up what control means, it's to exercise, restraining or directing, influence over. So control begins with, well, just read the slide here. Control begins with choice. Open the way for spiritual power to flow by exercising control, not over others or over the world, but over yourself. Determine what you think and feel, and your faculty for awakening will provide the vital energy. So it's up to us to spend time to think about, to control, to exercise that choice on, are we focusing on the good, or are we focusing on the not so good? Because sometimes some of our past conditioning can make us think that we're not good or others are not good. And often when we look at something, we're mirroring something that's within ourselves. So it's you can choose loving thoughts or words that come from fear or negativity. Usually if there's a negativity, it's because you've got a fear of some sort. And using your powers of, going back to the 12 powers, we also have a power of wisdom and a power of elimination. Is this a really good thought? Is this something that's going to add and grow and be something great and good, or not so? So what you look at focuses on, whatever you look at focuses on, and whatever you look at and focus on, grows and produces of like kind. So this is an area for me that I've always had an area where there's always room for improvement, because I grew up I love my parents very much, but they were very critical peeping people. They were peeping at people and being critical. Say that again. But I can remember them like when I was little, watching, the Ed Sullivan's show. And I'm just enjoying the music, and I'm enjoying what's going on. And it's like, oh, look at that outfit. And I'd be like, So when we're little, we know, but then we listen to something over and over again. And sometimes we end up going that route. And my father also was always, I felt as nothing was ever good enough. Although he did have some great accomplishments, and I respect him for what he did do. But if you're taught to always look at what's wrong, it's really hard to see what's right. But when you choose to look for what's good, and I'm going to relate a lot of this for us as unity, because we all want unity. We want our unity of London to grow. We love each other. We have a fabulous foundation. But when we come into the building, for example, and again, I attest, sometimes it's like, oh, did Lily not come in and clean this week? Instead of like, oh, there's something on the floor, I could just pick it up and look at the beautiful people that are here. And so you want to focus on what is the good? Because if there's, you can't have a bad without a good. You can't have an in without an out. You can't have a back without a front, an up without a down. So if there's something that you can see that you don't like, look, and you'll find something that you do like. So having that control. Step 2 is poise. By learning to control thoughts and feelings, you develop poise. So when you're not in control, it's really easy. All of a sudden, somebody just says hello, and you go, and you're angry, or you jump at them, and you, but when you're in control and you're looking at the good, then you have more poise. You're much more calm. You can appear to have more self-confidence. And it's really a more of a, when you're thinking about yourself, if you're looking to create something, not necessarily a Lamborghini, but something that's important to you, it's thinking about that I can versus I can't. Because you wouldn't have the ability, I believe we would never have a desire to have something that whatever it is, like for Amber to write her book. If she wasn't meant to write that book, she wouldn't have the desire on her heart. And so she chose, if I can use you, Amber, I hope you don't mind. She chose to think about how can I instead of I can't. And she certainly had lots of reasons she could have picked on to say that I can't. So having that poise allows you to be more in faith, and poise in the dictionary talks about the composure, the your ability to have self-confidence and just have that calm manner. Step number 3 is accord. And I had to look up accord. I looked them all up, but accord, it's like, okay. So accord is consistent or in harmony. So when you've established control and poise and are in accord with divine ideas, you are ready for the further quickening of this spiritual activity. So if you're thinking, we'll go back to step 1 and it's about choice. If you're choosing the thoughts that are I can't, or they're no good, or you're looking at what's not good, you're not going to quicken that spiritual activity because it's not in harmony with divine mind. Divine mind is all good, all wonderful, all knowing. And I believe that it's when we're in that, when we can be in the accord step or in harmony, that creates synergy. And this is where attraction is enhanced. Life power is turned on, and we're more tuned in to not only spirit, but tuned into the now, because everything in life is moment by moment. So going back to the idea of what we can do as a community, using our power to grow our community, not only do we see what's so wonderful about our community, the people, the building, the services, but we become more confident in speaking to others about our community. And because we're speaking in harmony and telling other people, and we're in such poise, it attracts more people that would want to come and find out more about what is this unity thing all about. The next step is endowment. And endowment is a gift. So this is your first real experience of receiving spiritual power. It may come as a feeling of new strength and life and joy, or a greater ability to cope with life and increased energy to do the work God has given you. So as Amber was writing her book and started writing her book, at some point she would have gotten a quickening, a real knowing that, yes, I can do this. And then she's more tuned in, and spirit gives her more of the ideas that she needs, more of the gifts that create that gift. And when we're in the endowment, on the endowment step, I believe because we're a greater expression of source and being our best self, we're also using our power of understanding. The 5th step is power. There's a lot of power in power. Power. And power, the meaning of power is a great or marked ability to do or act. It's they also talked about strength, might, and force. So when you're in the 5th step, you're now receiving a steady supply of spiritual power, and you're using it under God direction. So now you're tuned in on a more consistent basis, and you're just following through with the direction that you've been given. You've opened up your power channel, and you keep it open by taking time for rest, renewal, and revitalization through regular prayer activity. As they talked about, Jesus would often go away in the quiet, in the silence, away from everybody else for prayer. And that's when you do get the revitalization and the renewal. So it's about just becoming that clear, open channel. And as you receive the inspiration from Spirit, you then just know it's right for you and you act on it. Step 6 is dominion, authority. So when you have dominion, it's the power and the growing it. Sorry, reading my writing here. But it is giving you the authority and the power over. So you can command every situation as Jesus did by exercising dominion based first in self-government. If you can't control yourself, you're not able to give to others. And you're always the subject to the guidance of Spirit within you. What's my next step? And you only need the next step, because once you take that next step, then you'll get the answer to the next step. You are able to declare as Jesus did, all power is given unto me in heaven and earth. We all have the ability. And because we're not all meant to do the same thing, you can't worry about somebody else doing what you were supposed to do, or you trying to do something that somebody else was meant to do. It's so cool. Because we always want to have, because we think in pictures, we always want to have sort of an image of how does this all work? So I have 2 ways of looking at it. One, life is a big puzzle, and we're all pieces of that puzzle. And it's interesting how we fit together, how you meet somebody just at the right time, at the right place. They say the right words. And sometimes people that don't understand will say it's a coincidence. There's no coincidences in life. We are all, like whoever's in this room today is meant to be here today, to hear these words, to act on them, to do whatever. The people that aren't here today weren't meant to be here today. It's not good or bad, it just is. And so when you get in the flow, you'll see how those pieces will fit together. That, and again, I use Amber's book writing is such a great example. At some point about publishing, she would have talked to people about publishing and would have connected with one person that connected to her to another. And it's just so cool. The other thing that I use as a visualization for myself is that when we speak something that we want, that we're going to accomplish, like, for example, we could choose at Unity here to say that we want to grow our membership to 100 members from whatever we're at now. We're at 30 something, I think 40 something. We've been higher before, but it doesn't matter. We can pick a number and say, we're going to grow to 100 members, for example. And as we focus on that, each one of us will meet different people at different times, and our marketing will reach different people at different times, and it all fits together. And there's angels that help put all that together. So when we say we want 100 members, those angels start working all with us, lining us up to meet people. And if we all of a sudden go, well, maybe not, then the angels go, oh, okay. Well, we'll just wait till they decide what else are they going to pick. Oh, they're back to 100. Oh, somebody says, yeah, we can do the 100 members. Oh, they're back onto the 100 members. Okay, everybody get to work, start lining it up. And then something happens and somebody else goes, oh, I don't know if we can. And the angels are like, oh, okay, hurry up, like make a decision. We'll go work on something else. And you might have and when you're thinking about your own things and you have maybe a negative thought about yourself that you can't do that. And maybe it's like, it goes back to one that's very common with a lot of people is, oh, there's not enough money. Oh, we'll make arrangements to take some of that money away we were going to send. And I don't believe there really is all these little angels, but somehow when we speak words and we have feelings that it's rare that we speak without emotion, we create that. And so we have the ability to pick and choose what we want to create. And is it good stuff? Or if it's not so good? Because nothing's bad, but our thinking makes it so, but it might not be, it might be the total opposite to what you were looking for. And the last one is mastery. Well, that's, control or superiority over something. And mastery, you are no longer separated from power. You are power. Power flows through you without conscious effort. You have attained such complete mastery that there's no temptation to return to human thinking or feeling. You are one with power. And I believe that we've all been at mastery at some point in our life, and we will all be there again. Are we all there today? Probably not, because life is life. Life is live. Things are always in an ebb and flow of change. And so when things come to us, how do we take them? Do we let them start speak? Do we allow those things, or do we allow things or people? Like I talked last week about, how the cords used to drive me crazy. It's such a silly thing that if we could just get rid of these messy cords, but at least somebody tuned in, Lorraine tuned in to what could we do about these cords instead of complaining about them? And she fixed it. So I certainly wasn't in mastery when those cords were driving me crazy, but we do let things and other people affect us. And we want to get to mastery where they don't affect us other than that they give us more love. We find more reasons to become more masterful in the use of our 12 powers and how we truly, control and look and see what's good. And again, going back to how we could use our power for growing unity, that we all become confident who we are as a spiritual community, that we develop synergy and we use our gifts to attract new people because they see us as being our best selves. I'm reading a book that's been written by a woman that was mentored by Bob Proctor, and it's called Your Best Self. And in there, she says, don't try to be your best self. Just don't try to be. Within each of us is our best self. We only need to just tune in and see that, instead of, I think often we are our own worst enemy and critic. And so when other people see that people leave this building and they're shiny and bright and being them best selves and loving and seeing the face of God in everyone, we become open, clear channels for ideas, and we see more love and good, and we get the ideas on how can we attract more people to this wonderful movement that is truly making a difference in the world. And we will approach people without fear. We will approach them with nothing but pure love. Source will send them to us, and it'll all grow because of our own spoken words, our visualization, what we use our imagination to see as a vibrant, healthy, growing community, and the actions that we take and the faith that we express by trusting. And so I came up with a couple of affirmations, and I'm going to ask you to maybe throw it a couple of more that from the people that get in the audience that have an idea. But we have a loving, inclusive community. We are a growing and thriving community. Somebody give me another one about unity, a positive, uplifting affirmation. The music is great. We're a happy community. We're a friendly community. We are cultless. We have no dogma. And so I encourage you to learn more about your 12 powers, and this month, learn more about your power of power and become more conscious of the words you speak and what's in your heart as you speak them, and make a choice to change them if they're not uplifting and spiritual like you'd like them to be. And the more we practice these things, as we all know, the easier it gets. And so let's take this into meditation. So I invite you to become very comfortable in your chair. And as you breathe in, imagine Breathing in power, breathing in purple, and breathing out purple. And focus on the base of your throat, or the base of your tongue and your throat and your power center. And maybe whisper to it, thank you. I am so grateful for my power of power. And Spirit, during this time of meditation, guide each and every one of us to areas where we can quicken our area of power, where we can bring more uplifting words, more words of love to co-create the better world that we all see. We'll just sit in the silence for a moment. And as we receive these ideas, we know that we can and will act on them with love, faith, and all the power that's required is always with us. And so it is, and so we let it be.
So Sylvia, thank you so much for this talk on the power of power. And it's like you said, there's no coincidences. So I don't know whether you can see there this morning, but my top is purple, and I just sort of grabbed that this morning and didn't pay much attention to it. So thank you for that talk on power and the importance of being intentional in what we speak.
I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage of faith to free the Christ inside. I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage of faith to free the Christ inside. I am alive with the passion and power. I am alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage of faith to free the Christ inside. I free the Christ inside. I free the Christ to be I am. Alive with my purpose in life. I have the strength, the skill, the courage of faith to free the Christ inside. I am the skill, the courage of faith to free the Christ inside. I shall be free.
What an uplifting song that was. What an uplifting song. So every week, people bring their time, talent, and treasures to Unity of London, and we are grateful for that. So today, as we collect the offerings, or as the offerings are collected, we just remind you that your offerings can be made by check, credit or debit cards, using the Tidely site, or by e-transfer to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. So we're appreciative of all of the time, talent, and treasures that you exude to Unity of London. And we affirm, using the power of power, that we are prosperous. And so here is our prosperity blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thanks, ladies, for collecting. So we'll do our prayer for protection. So if you'd like, repeat this with me. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And so now, if you'd like to join and sing your peace song. Okay, so just before we finish up here, so if you would like to, we have one more announcement, but if anyone would like to have any comments for Sylvia.